Okay. So let's create another controller or a class, and let's define some S object in that. So last example that we were doing was more on the primitives, right? So today what we are going to do, we are going to create another class, and we are going to use S object in that. Let's go to setup, develop, Apex classes, new, click on new. Okay, so it will be public class and give it a name. So this time I'm going to use an S object, okay, Salesforce object. So it can be account A equals new account. So if I'm talking about a record which is already not in the database, then I should say new account. Okay, and then I have to supply the values like name equals Dell India, okay, and industry equals technology, okay, and then you will define a get method for it. Because I want to display this data on the page, I need to define a get method. This time my method will return an account, right? So the return type has to be defined here, get a, return a, here it is, save it. Okay, now let's go and create a Visualforce page. Epic/v okay. Okay, the controller here is going to be C2, and because I have already called the controller, now I can start calling the method from there, a.name. See, a.name brings in the name that you defined for that account there, a.industry, and then a.type. So industry is there, type is not defined, that is the reason why it's blank. Correct? So what I'm doing, I'm defining an S object in the class and I have called the value here. So this is how you can define an S object and call the value on this thing, on the Visualforce page. Got it? So simple. Now let's create another example. Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, G, just want to understand, so what you have done on the phone part is, where you've done the programming, you have account A. So we have created an instance for this, right?
Yes.
And then account if you have entered the value from the backend and so on, we will keep entering the values from here in the controller part.
Yeah, but I mean this is just a simple example. Here this is where I have declared the value from my side. It's just an example to show you how do you call an S object on the Visual Force page. Correct? So this is something which I have given from my side. So this is the value that I have defined explicitly on the code, the hard coded value. Correct?
Okay. Okay.
But it is just an example to show you how you can call an S object into your Visual Force page. Correct? So the way we were using it earlier, but now earlier I was saying account.name because it knew what is an account. Now it does not know what is an account. It only knows S objects, variables, that's it. The methods. Okay. So it knows this method A. I can only call a method here. Now if I say account, standard controller, what we will be saying? We were saying account.name. If I say account.name, it will say what is account. It does not know because it's not connected to, earlier it was connected to a standard controller, and in that standard controller there was a standard method called account. However, now there is nothing called account for it. It only knows the methods that you have been defined in this class. So it goes and finds there is nothing called account. It only knows get A as a method, and you can only call this method there, or whatever other methods you have defined there. Correct? So once you've started using a controller, or once you have started writing your own class, whatever you call on Visual Force page has to be a method which has been defined by you in the class. Apart from that, whatever object name, this, that, everything is like French to them. So they do not understand any, Visual Force will not recognize anything else. Correct? Okay. So
Yeah, Jeet, I have a small doubt. Like we have here name and industry, but in the Apex code we mentioned that type. I think we didn't find any return value for the type.
but this is S object, right?
Yeah,
So this is of account type. So
account type. Okay.
no, this is an S object account, right? So all the
Yeah.
fields under account are recognized once you have called, like name is also not defined anywhere here. Before this, have you defined name anything anywhere? But it understands what's a name. So once you define an S object, it knows that okay, fine, these are the fields under that S object. So because
Okay.
A is an S object variable, those values will be recognized. The field values it will recognize, it knows. Correct?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's do another example. Let me create one more example. Now let's create something which makes a little more sense. These were only very simple examples which were anyhow, just for trying and testing. Let me use a class, call it C3, and this time I'm going to display a list of account. Okay. Select. So this time we are going to use an SOQL query to write this. Select name, type, industry, phone, fax from account, where industry equals, let's say, energy. Okay. So I basically want to fetch a list of all the accounts where the industry equals energy. Energy spelling right. And now I'll define a method for this. I'll say public list of account. So whenever you're defining a method, you have to define what will be the return type of that method. What will that method return? So now my method is going to return a list of accounts. So I will say this. Done. Some error. What is the error? Someone please help me find the error. What is the error? Anyone?
First is facts from account, so account spelling is not correct. See,
Okay.
and it's a custom controller, we have to use it with __C.
No. Read the error now. Now what is the error?
Again, industry spelling first to start.
Very good.
Actually, we don't have the industry field in the account.
Yeah, so that spelling was incorrect. So it was saying there is no such field because my spelling was not correct. Got it? So I also want you to get used to finding the errors. These errors are going to be always very small errors, and they are going to make your life a little difficult because there will be a lot of field names that you are going to use and all. So get into that habit of figuring out the errors also. So done. Now there is no error. Saved. Okay, works. Now let's go and create a page and display the list. Okay. So basically to display the list, what I need a table on the page, right? So let me just go ahead and create a page. Let's say we have 15. Controller will be C3. Apex page block, and I give it a title, list of energy accounts. I need a page block table here. Okay, now here what will be the value? Value comes from the method name again, from here. This will return the list of accounts, right? So that's going to be the value, and then there will be a variable for that, and then you can create your columns here. Now rest is same. Column value is gonna be a dot name Alright, got this? Now we have created a list of only energy accounts. So remember, in the standard controller we did not have this option, no condition criteria, but with custom controller we have got this option that I can put my condition, my criteria and all those things. The way I am writing Visualforce is exactly the same. Table value has been defined, variable we have defined on the table, and we have then this created all the columns and fields. That's absolutely fine. In standard controller it was coming from the record set var, here it comes from the method name in the class, right? And that is it. Now whatever we have here, whatever we have written, you just call that, and it only shows you the records where industry equals energy. That's it. Got it? Simple. Okay. So let's do one more example on the similar lines. So this example is clear. You just want to take a minute and review the code and look into this quickly. It's simple actually. There's nothing that we have done. Only thing is I have written a query and I have put a condition here where industry equals energy. Okay. Fine. So let's do one more example. Okay. In that example, I will again create tables, and this time I'm going to use another field for basically, for the segregation of accounts. All right. So let's create one more example. Let's do it based on the type, or let's do it based on the, or let's do it for opportunities. That will be better. Let's do one more example, and there we will use opportunity stage. Okay, so let's do that. So this time it's going to be public class C4, and you will need to put a name, list of opportunity, select name, amount, stage name, select name, amount, stage name, expected revenue from opportunity where stage name equals closed one. So you have to see that this is exactly the value which is there, provided there in your pick list. Public. Okay, so this should return the list of opportunities. List of opportunity. Get ops and make it return ops. Got it. Fill aliasing at line 2, expected from where stage name expected revenue from opportunity.
The same amount and stage name, I think we need comma between both. And written OPS, written spelling.
Good. So I will just go to V16. Alright, let's do one thing. Let us take this code. So I am putting this class in the chat window. Okay, just take this class code and try to create the Visual Force page on your own. Got it? So the class thing we have done, and I put it in the chat window. So you can just copy and put it, paste it on your class. Create a class, paste it, and try to create the Visual Force page. Okay. So let's quickly do this. So we got 5 minutes for finishing it off. Correct. So you can take the code from the chat window. I've already put it in the chat window. Someone who is confident enough to write the code on his own, very good. Can write it on his own also. Okay. I'll just be back in a minute with this. Hello. Yeah. Done. Anyone who has completed?
I done with the code, Webix code page, but actually it is showing just a list of opportunities. It is not showing any data.
So the reason can be the value that we have put here may not be correct. This closed one, I had a doubt on this closed one. Okay, you guys can look into my screen. I think there can be a small issue with this closed one value. It might not be correct. So how will you get it? You can just go to any of existing opportunities and see what is the exact value inside that pick list. It is called closed one, closed space one, and what I have put this thing, so it should be just this much. If you change this thing, then it might start working. Okay, let me just create the page also for you guys here. That's gonna be simple. Just go to the Visual Force page and increase the size. Let me make it controller. C4. What's the controller? C4. And then if it's page block, list of one opportunities, fx page block table, value equals var equals o. Name amount, stage name, expected revenue. Okay, so these are all one opportunities. There's so many of them.
Oh,
Right? Simple. So how we are using it? Okay. So we have done one example for account, we have done an example for opportunity, we have seen how do we bring in a single record, we have also seen how do we bring a list of records.
can you show the VF page?
Yes, here it is. Code.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So now let's say I want to create one more list here for the lost opportunities. Then you just need to copy this, define one more method. Okay, I'll make it ops lost. Change the name of the variable and change it here. Close lost. Okay, and let me define one more method. So this ops lost, I need one more get method. So I'll define it here. Public list of opportunity get ops lost, return ops lost. Done. Now you have to go and call this other list on the Visual Force page. So let me design this Visual Force page in a little different manner. So let me create another Visual Force page. Controller C4 Apex. Okay. Page block Apex page block section. One opportunities. Okay, so I've created one section for one opportunities. I'm creating another section for lost opportunities. So far I'm just setting the layout for my Visual Force page. So I have one opportunities and lost opportunities. Yet we have not retrieved any data from the class. Let me also remove the sidebar so that we have some space available here to display two lists of opportunities. Alright, so one opportunities are this side, lost opportunities are this side. Create the table, Apex page block table. Value is gonna be ops, variable will be O, Apex column value O dot name amount stage name expected revenue. Okay, this entire table can be copied to this section. The only thing that you have to change in this other table is the variable name or the method name basically. That's it. Oh wow, so we don't have lost opportunities. Ops lost. So we don't have any lost opportunities. That's good. But that's fine, right? I mean, this is how you can actually create both the list, one opportunities, lost opportunities parallelly, simultaneously, right? So you can just have a look at the code from here. So it's a simple thing. We have just played around with the page block and the section to create two columns, and then under one column I have created one table. Under the first column I have created a table, and under the second column again I have created another table. In the first one I display the won opportunities. In the second table I display the lost opportunities. Somehow we do not have any lost opportunities here. You can quickly go and check if the spelling that you have used for closed lost is correct. Closed lost, that's correct. So that's absolutely okay. Closed and lost, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Ajit, what was the significance of putting this columns equals to 1? What was the significance of that?
So basically a page block section by default has two columns, right? So if you don't put column equals to 1, then this complete table will go into half of this area, correct?
Okay.
Page block section consists of two columns.
So in other section also we put column equals to 1.
Yeah.
We are giving a second section as well.
Sorry? See, basically this is page block section, right? By default a page block section has two columns, okay? If you don't put it as one, then what will happen? The first component which is getting into the page block section, which is page block table, that will go into one side of it. Remove it, then see what happens. See, so it's by default two columns. This will go and get compressed. I think we have discussed it a couple of times earlier also in some other example. So this will get into one side of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a problem. That is the reason why I made it column equals to 1.
And Jit, one more doubt. I mean, the whole page is also divided into two columns.
Because
let's see, if we are having like...
No, it's not the whole page. I've used a page block section here. See this? The parent page block section. Under that there is a child page block section.
Yeah. So I mean, like if you use another page block section, then it will be I mean, like the display will be on the next row, right?
Means, sorry, could not understand that.
Nothing.
I mean, what I will suggest is do it and understand it on your own instead of understanding it theoretically. Put these page block sections, try to work on this, you will get your concepts clear. Correct. So what I have done, I have designed 3 page block sections here. One is the parent one. That parent makes 2 columns, and then there is the first child and then the other child. Okay. So try it on your own, then things will be more clear. Alright. So okay on this. So we have done a few examples. I think this is what we are going to do. I will not do too many things today. Tomorrow once we meet, we are going to discuss on writing methods which can call an action. So the command button actions is what we are going to start writing on the class. Okay. But before that I want you guys to work on this and get this correct. At least the get method. Okay. Get method is the simplest thing. On Visualforce you will use it a lot of times. Get method is used for getting the data from your program to the Visualforce page, right? So work on the get method, and tomorrow once we meet, we are going to talk about the command button actions and all. Correct?
Yeah,
So,
Ajit,